Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Everything Vaguely Paranormal. I'm Shelley Pruitt, and my partners in the paranormal, Mr. Blake Smith and Mr. Ryan Roberts. Hi, guys.
What's up? How are you?
I'm not doing my British accent this week. Dang it.
Yeah.
Hi, Shelley. How are you?
I
Hello.
am fantastic.
I almost missed the Cockney accent, Blake, just for a little bit.
Hello.
What'd you call me?
Yeah, careful with
Called you
your
Cockneyed.
word.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Whatever works for you. Are we really going to start this off like that?
Yes.
We have guests, so behave yourself.
Okay.
Don't care.
I'm going to tell you
You
right
think I'm
now.
gonna act any different?
No,
Yeah.
probably not. And I have to tell you that the people we have on tonight are known only as the mysterious Mike and Sam. And they're very careful about their identities, but they are fascinating people. Ryan and I actually met them when we were hosting a ghost hunt, and they
Mhm.
came. And they actually taught us the way that we do the Estes method. And we've seen
They
a lot
did.
of Estes methods that have been done before. But I believe the reason why we adopted their style of doing it was because I think it is the very best way to do it out of everything I've ever seen.
Mhm.
And we happened to run back into them at the Paracon, the Metacon in Kansas City, Missouri. And when we found them, we were so excited. We had missed them. And Blake, I know you had heard Ryan and I talk about the
So many
mysterious Mike and
stories.
Sam.
So many
Yes.
stories.
And they did not disappoint when you met them, did they?
No, they did not.
Fabulous.
They are so fun. I love them to death. And I can't
So
wait to
whenever
talk
we
to them
got the
tonight.
opportunity, and they agreed, and I did ask, "Are you sure?" And they said
Mhm.
yes. They said they come on, and I was very excited. So without further ado, we want to introduce you to the mysterious Mike and Sam. Hi, guys. Oh, you don't have the big hood over you. You're not shrouded. I figured you would be like in costume. How are you guys?
It's just down the hall. Should I go grab it?
Oh, no, that's okay. That's okay. So how are you guys doing tonight? Thank you so much for coming on with us.
Well,
Gosh,
for having us.
Thanks for letting us be on. This is awesome.
So I'm going to start right off because the two of you have a very unique relationship in the fact that one of you has psychic abilities, and one of them is a fantastic conduit that the spirits just absolutely loves to talk to. Do y'all want to reveal who is who?
No. It's a mystery. It's a mystery show, like the.
It is a mystery.
Like
It is a mystery.
It's the mystery.
Mike does remind me a little of Scooby Doo now that I think of it.
Not Shaggy. Not Shaggy.
Yeah, not Shaggy. Not Shaggy. Scooby was always my favorite. Take the win, Mike.
Awesome,
Same.
thank you.
And Scrappy. Who didn't love Scrappy, the little cousin, right? Scrappy.
Oh yeah, little Scrappy
Scrappy-Doo.
Doo.
Yeah.
Scrappy Doo.
Puppy power.
Yeah.
So, guys, I know that you guys have been to a lot of haunted places. You have a lot of haunted connections. I want to ask right off the bat, was there ever a place that you guys walked into that you immediately wanted to turn around and walk out of?
Absolutely, yes.
Mike, where was it?
Try Louisville, Kentucky, Waverly Hills Institution.
Really?
Just got back from there.
That place will make the hair on the back of your neck not only stand up but scream. It's a weird
You don't have to.
vibe. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, we just got back from there. We did
Yeah.
What am I trying to say? 2 locations in one weekend, and Waverly Hills was one
Yeah,
of them.
I think I saw on Facebook you were there too.
When
Yeah.
did you guys go? Because we just went back a couple of weeks ago.
this
We just
past
We
weekend.
were last
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh yeah, last Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah.
we were first week of June. So
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Okay, and that how many times have y'all been up there?
just twice.
That was our second. Did you guys go down to Death Chute?
Oh yeah.
Of course. Is that
What?
where you got scared, Mike? You can tell me the truth.
That's one of many places I got scared.
Did you guys have light anomalies in the tunnel? I'm sorry, we have a pesky fly flying around in here. Did you guys see light anomalies in the death chute?
No, I didn't see any light anomalies. Shelley, Blake, did y'all?
No, I didn't see any light anomalies, but the weirdest part was I've already started kind of reviewing some of the evidence that we had. One of the cameras that I set at the top of the death chute and pointed down, it gets this really weird audio disturbance like to it. It almost starts like vibrating, if you will, kind of almost like subwoofers in a car.
Mhm.
It just started kind of vibrating on the audio, and I'm sitting there. I was like, "Oh, what is that?" But no light anomalies. That was about the only thing that I've gotten so far on evidence review of the shoot.
But I will say, on the way down, it felt like somebody was on my ass the entire time we were going down to the bottom of that chute. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
It-
now,
I feel like
this
eyes
was,
are on you.
Mhm.
yes. Now this was me and Ryan. We had been 2 times prior. This was our 3rd time. And Ryan, we did catch light anomalies in the death tunnel. The first couple of times we went, that one that looked like it came up behind me and then it pulled into a
You're right.
pinpoint light and it shot away.
Absolutely right.
So using psychic abilities, what would you guys maybe perhaps determine that might be?
Are you asking us?
Of course. I know what these two think.
Well, we experienced it balls of light coming like it was walking up the steps because it got higher and higher. And when it got close to us sitting at the top of the stairs, if somebody would stand up or something, it would back down the steps. We didn't have
No way.
flashlights on in there. We didn't have our watches or whatever they're called. What are they called?
That.
Watches and whatever. We didn't have anything on to where it would create that light anomaly, and it happened multiple times, which was pretty cool. So it's probably people coming up the steps, right? The way,
That's right.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
that's what it looked like.
Because we were at
So-
the very top of the steps, and the light anomaly started at the bottom, and they stayed on basically the right hand side,
Yes.
and just worked their way up to us. And then when Sam stood up to see what they were, one of them, the bigger one, just stopped and backed up a little bit.
And one
Wow.
it did cross over and went down the
Down.
left side, and then it just disappeared midway down.
I'm saying, how close did they get to you? Just midway, or they came forward a little bit
No,
more?
no.
all the way to the top of the stairs by that railing. We had a couple of
Mhm.
chairs sitting up there, and
There-
it came to
Yeah,
that.
right to the top
Yeah.
of the stairs.
Wow.
Holy hell! Wow.
That was crazy. That was crazy. We had a couple of really good EVPs out of that
Very good.
session too. We did have another lady that was with us had a personal experience down there. She heard someone talking. She was down there with a guy, and someone, I believe, said her name out loud, and it was neither of them. It was a male voice.
Oh, no way.
Pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
So,
Now-
go ahead, Blake. Sorry.
I was gonna say it's kind of
Yeah.
interesting because we have lots of questions, but it was kind of interesting because whenever we first went in towards the death tunnel, we opened up that door, walked through, we're in the hallway, and right as that door is being shut, I was like, "Oh, y'all, I think this is it." That was my first time going, so we were searching for it. Ryan and Shelly were off doing their own thing, and I was like, "Oh, I think this is it." And right as the door slams shut, you hear this lady EVP. She goes, "You can come in, clear as a bell."
Wow.
Yeah, she was like,
Wow.
"You can come." I was like, I'm sitting there listening. I was like, "Holy crap!"
You can come in, but you can't leave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, she just goes, "You can
Failed
come
to
in."
hear that.
Yeah, right.
Unless
exactly.
it's through the death tunnel. No.
Yeah.
One way in, one way out.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so do you guys find that usually your spiritual interaction, whenever you get there, like we get a little bit of everything. We get poltergeist activity, we see shadows, we get EVPs. Does yours go farther than that, or how do you get the most interaction through EVPs, through personal touch, through seeing things? Whenever they come to you, how do they show themselves to you?
Yeah. All
Yeah.
all the above. We did have one other funny thing happen. You know where the actual morgue was, where they put the bodies in?
Mhm.
Well, I crawled into one and stayed there for a couple of minutes. And while I'm in there, I said, "Oh gosh, this place is kind of dead. Sorry, guys, no pun intended." And then we played it back and let Sam tell you what we heard.
I forgot what it
But Sam's like, this is your
Rude.
story.
I don't remember.
You don't remember that? Anyway, after I
I
went,
was exhausted.
she was beat. So I'm in the thing for 4 or 5 minutes, and I'm just laying there, and you can't get out, you can't see anything. And I was just making a joke about, hey, guys, it's kind of dead in here. And that's when I said, hey, sorry, guys, I'm just making a joke. So we played the EVP back, and there's this voice come on, says, rude, rude. And it said something
It said
else,
something else. I don't
and I don't
remember
remember what
what
it said, but it was just really funny to hear because it was a male voice.
Yeah, they were giving us
They
crap.
were giving me a lot of crap.
So
That's not different from the living at all, Mike.
no.
I just irritated somebody.
With y'all being, so well traveled and had been to so many places, and you said Waverly Hills made you want to turn around and leave. What was it specifically that made you? Was there like any particular interaction? Was there just an overall feeling? What was it?
I'll let Sam tell you that one.
So the first time we went, we were on a private. Both of our times we were on. He's going to shut the door. Sorry, mosquitoes coming in. The first time we went was a private as well, like this last time. So there was not a large group. There were only 15 of us, and it had been a crazy, crazy night already. I mean, I felt like the life was being sucked out of me. And as we were walking out that last hallway before you go down where the exit is, but walking down that long hallway, something was crawling on the ceiling above us. It kind of resembled a rake. It was like just that spider body, and it was shiny and black. He was walking forwards. I was walking backwards, and we were holding hands and could not get out of there.
It was very uncomfortable.
Soon enough. That was the most terrified I've been at a location.
Wow. So you saw the infamous creeper then?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And I was really feeling bad because I'm looking, I couldn't see it, but I'm going to tell you guys, I felt it. I literally could just feel it near me.
It was not a good energy.
No, it was not. It was not nice at all.
What do you think it was? Do you think it was like the manifestation of all the sadness that had been in that building, or do you think it was something else?
I think it was something else.
Possibly even like an elemental energy, if you will, because there's so much, or PK manifestation, something along those lines, because there's so many people go there and they want to have the crap scared out of them, right? And all that fear for people that get drugged there, because spouses, wives take their husbands there because they want to go and their husbands don't want to go, or boyfriend, girlfriend. And so all of that fearful energy, I think, just amplifies and can create an energy of its own. Plus, rituals happen there, so I'm not sure.
Really?
Maybe not the good ones to keep spirits there.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know about that last part. I didn't know about that at all. That's interesting.
I don't know that it can be confirmed, but I've heard from people who have been there. So
okay, interesting.
Well, and you have the sleuthin, so if you're picking up on that, that's probably what's been happening. So I'll take your word for it.
I'm not an expert. That's just my opinion.
That is your opinion. All right.
All right.
We will go with that. Now, I have to tell you guys that a lot of people whenever we host investigations, we do Estes methods, and people go like, who taught you this? Where did you learn this? And we credit you guys. We say that you guys taught it, that we like the way you open and close circles. And I have to tell you, right now, everybody who has been on an investigation with us, yes, I steal a lot of questions from Mike. The very first time I ever heard Mike do an Estes method, some of the questions he was asking was hilarious, and he got such good answers whenever he would put Sam under, because of his joking, his playing around with them. He'd get serious if he needed to, but for the most part, he would just banter with talking out loud, and it got such good results that I absolutely stole Mike's method of interacting with the spirits when somebody's doing an Estes method.
Yeah, and I stole that from somebody else.
God damn, I don't feel so bad.
We
Steal from the best.
We did.
Yes.
We
Steal from the best.
We were told that if you're going to interact with the spirits, treat them like they're right in front of you and like they're your best friend, and just have a good time with them. Don't ask them, do you know you're dead? Don't ask them, do you know what year you died? Just say, hey, I'm thirsty. I like a gin tonic. What are you guys drinking? And you'd be surprised at the results you get. Just talk.
We get a lot of Jack and Cokes.
We get a lot of Jack.
Mine just tell me to do very dirty things. I ask you, does anybody here want to be my boyfriend? And then they say very awful things to me.
Maybe it's the energy. Where the
maybe
they're going.
Maybe. But would you guys kind of explain how you guys do the Estes method for anyone that hasn't been with us and seen us do it? Because you are the people we learned it from, and I think that you would be perfect to explain that.
Well, I think I'm the one that goes into it, but be very discreet on how we met them. But then
I don't.
You can just
I-
tell how you do
I
it. You
learned
can-
I learned from the creators themselves, Carl Pfeiffer and Connor Randall, who used to be in-house investigators at the Stanley Hotel, where
Okay.
Estes Park,
Mhm.
Colorado, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
Connor and Carl got tired of the EVPs being manipulated. So Connor being a drummer for the Ghoulies and Carl with all his tech savviness, right? So they got an SB7, the spirit box, and they plugged Connor's headphones in there. And then they came up with doing the blindfold. So you're kind of like in a deprivation chamber, if you will. So you can't see anybody talking to you. If you turn, I do it a little differently. As you know, Miss Shelley, I turn the volume all the way up on the SB7
We do too.
Mhm.
because people who go out there with the $5 headphones from the Dollar Tree or whatever give people like us a bad name because you can hear I've seen television shows doing it, just irritates me. But anyway, I
You just
derailed.
flat don't want to hear the questions. You want to make sure
Exactly.
that whoever's under is under.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that it's legit.
And go ahead because Sam and you had recommended Vic Firth headphones to me.
Yes.
I have them. They
Yeah.
are amazing.
Yes.
I ordered another pair, which are going to go on our mystery adventure with us this weekend. So we now have 2.
Yay. I have 4 now because sometimes my friends that are with us want to try it. And it's like, if you're going to try it, you're going to do it with me with a splitter. That way I know your volume level is up and you don't hear the questions because someone will say, oh, I'm great at it. And the volume is not turned up. So you know they heard the questions and
Mm.
it's just be
So
respect the guys
Yeah.
that created the process.
So it's
Mhm.
it's nice to, if you're going to do something, do it right. But it's also nice to be able to have met the creators and talk to them and get their ideas of why they did it, what they want to achieve out of it, and how they want it done. We really got a chance to be with them when we were in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, chasing the Mothman. We first met them, and they were so much
Ashmore.
fun.
Ashmore.
Oh, Ashmore too. I
Ashmore
forgot
was
about
the
Ashmore.
first. Ashmore was the first.
So we've been with them actually 3
2 or
times.
3 times.
It was Ashmore,
matter.
Point Pleasant, and I forgot the Oliver House up in around Boston.
No.
But these guys are so outside the box, and they're so cool to talk to.
That's really cool that you get that. You get to sit under the learning tree from the people who actually created it and can get their feedback and see what it is that they do differently and can adopt that. But you just said the magic words to me. You said Point Pleasant, West Virginia. You said Mothman.
God, here we go.
Wait a minute. Let them finish
Just-
explaining the Estes method before you take them on a tangent with Mothman, right?
Okay, I do have a question to ask whenever we get back on that tangent.
So
then.
go ahead with that. And thank you for saying Estes and not Estes. It is not Estes.
Yeah.
I try to tell people this all the time. It is Estes. It's not testes minus the T. It's Estes.
It's Estes, just like Estes Park, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So-
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
But
and
I will. Go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No.
I was just gonna say I see why they did what they did to create this method, because when we're in these locations and it just seems sometimes like it's frustrating to try and get correct answers in certain ways of equipment that you're using, but we can pop out a Estes method, and I guess the energy that are in some of the places that we go, I mean, we get direct response and there's no question
Mhm.
about it, like what they're trying to tell us. So it's my favorite thing to do on an investigation. I think you get very compelling direct.
And I will tell you, it's my favorite with you.
Yeah.
I so agree, because you get right to the point. Now,
Yes.
sometimes it's hard to control the conversation because it's off meandering somewhere. But when you get that direct conversation, it's amazing.
Well, I will say, like the time we were with you guys down at the hospital, I don't remember the name of it.
Well, you were at both. You were at Army Beach and also at Nazareth with us.
I think it was
I
Nazareth.
think it was Nazareth.
So
Okay.
when I was on the floor where the nurse, there was,
It's like the 3rd or 4th floor.
yeah, I
wasn't
think
it?
it's the 3rd floor because we had our friends Gayla and Annette there with us. But
Mhm.
the energy in the room, because I just came back from a week-long event, and like you were talking British, and I just spent the week with the world famous Tony Stockwell in a trance class.
Oh wow.
And it goes hand in hand with the Estes method, in my opinion. And I explained what I do with that. And because if y'all know, I'm kind of studying mediumship and all that and can see things and all, but sitting in that space, in that energy, in a group with a group of people that are like-minded and want to try to communicate with spirit, all of that positive energy and the energy of the spirits in the location, they haven't been talked to like that in a long time, right? And they're like, oh my God, somebody can hear me when I talk. And they use that radio frequency to come through so we can hear. Now, sometimes the white noise may go away and you have legit conversations like that night at the hospital, because I did everything except tell the room number
And
of
you
the
should have, 'cause
people that was going in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was awesome.
we had at least 7 or 8 minutes of direct communication with the nurse, and she wasn't happy about me being up on the floor.
Oh, Mike, she was
Yeah.
she was angry with you. I just kept thinking.
Made me leave.
I know.
Mhm.
She kept telling him to get out. He needs to leave. And Mike was like, Mike steps out the door. He's like, I'm coming back. And Sam was doing this, and immediately you heard, you better not.
I know.
Child, she got after you.
and that's when it's the most fun, when you're having that direct communication.
Well, see, and that's
Absolutely.
because we were talking about Waverly as well, and then talking about this now. I mean, we had a moment like that at Waverly. You know, Brittany, our producer that y'all met before we came on, she was under, Shelly was leading, and nothing was really making sense. But then we were right outside the 4th floor OR, and then all of a sudden it's like it just clicked, and she said something, and Shelly started responding, and I'm talking like. We don't have these very often. It's very rare that we get these real back and forth for quite some time conversations, but it was a legit conversation. There was no pause, no nothing. Shelly would say something, Brittany would respond. Shelly would say something, Brittany would respond. And it was
Mhm.
back and forth for what, guys? 45 seconds at least?
Yeah, it was a
minute?
while. Yeah.
Yeah. Had a full-fledged conversation.
Immediate snapbacks at
Yeah.
each other. Well, you
Yeah.
better not. Well, I bet you I will. I bet you won't.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
much.
it was.
That's awesome.
That's why I
awesome.
love. That's why I love this method so much.
Absolutely.
Love this method.
So since Sam taught you the correct way, you got to try what we've tried over the years. Sam has a young lady that she mentored
No, just a
in
friend. Just do a friend.
in Cleveland, Ohio, and they each put on the headphones and do S's together. And you know how far apart Cleveland and Kansas City is,
Mhm.
and they talk to each other.
Oh, you're
It's
talking
Wow.
in different cities.
Yeah, cross
You're
country
talking
type
a
stuff.
completely different city that's
Yeah.
700-800 miles away, and I'm on the phone talking to both of them, and they will talk to each other and answer each other's. I'll ask a question that maybe the other lady can't hear, but she'll answer it and then tell Sam something, and Sam will talk to her. I mean, I don't.
Okay,
think,
I am so in for this.
I don't
Mhm.
think spirits have a problem with distance or time. I think it's something we don't even understand. So while we're thinking it's 1,000 miles away, to them it's next door. But that's an experiment you ought to try if you have a friend that actually can do Estes and do it right. Try that sometime, because that also is amazing.
Or you can go to another location, or it doesn't even have to be a haunted location. One of my friends in Pennsylvania, she went somewhere and she called me when we were up at that place in Atchison, McIntyre Villa.
Mhm.
And I had never been to the place my friend was at, and I started describing the locations. I mean, the spirits came through and started telling me what the hallway looked like, the room that they were in, about the person that used to live there.
Did you hear her say this lady's in Pennsylvania?
So,
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
and
And then she did it for Sam.
she did it for us. I mean, it's
Estes is amazing.
yes.
Yeah.
Totally amazing.
Carl and
And I don't
Connor
think
don't get
anybody-
enough credit.
I don't think anybody still understands what can be done with that.
I want to try this right now. I really do. This sounds fascinating. We may have to have you guys whenever we get to our locations weekend. I've got your
May have to
number.
try it.
We may have to try this.
Okay.
That would be fun.
It would be.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
just don't know what's going to happen. But I always tell
I'm
people,
so in.
Shelly, you know me. I always tell people the only way to fail as an investigator is not to try something. If it doesn't work, try something else.
And child, we have taken that to heart. I mean, it doesn't matter. You're like, okay, you want us to go stand here and stand on one foot and chunk M&Ms? Okay, if that's what's
Well,
doing it for you,
And
you know?
we got so comfortable to a point to where we're very comfortable with the Estes method now that we started to expand it ourselves. Instead of just putting one under, we put two under at the same time.
Mhm.
you know, and see, and that just blows my mind even more whenever those two just start having a conversation and remove the person who's even asking the questions. You know, it's like, okay, y'all just go at it, I guess.
We've done a 5-way, or I've done a
We got a
5-way.
5-way splitter.
Mhm.
And
Wow.
they
Estes, we're
actually
still
talk-
talking Estes method,
And they
right?
talk to
Yes.
each other. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And we all, it was crazy. We were all saying, I've got the recordings. I should send you some of those.
I would
But
love
we
to hear
were
them.
all saying the same thing, or somebody would say something and then we would answer. It was the craziest. It was a crazy experiment. And one time I had a mother-daughter strapped in. That was the wildest Estes. And I think I've done some pretty amazing ones, but this blew my mind to have a mother and daughter that are so intuitive and so connected. They were mocking each other, mimicking.
Whoa.
The mom wasn't under, the daughter was, and the mom was asking the questions and the daughter was mimicking her. And this went on for 5 full minutes, if not a little bit longer. And when we finally tapped her out, we asked her because at first she took the headphones off. She said, I'm not getting anything. I'm not getting anything. She's from Texas. She said, I'm not getting anything. I said, just sit with it, breathe into it, stop stressing over it. Just take a long, deep breath and relax into it and just listen. Just listen. And then she started, and all of a sudden, when her mom started asking questions, it was, how are you? No, how are you? Are you okay? Are you okay? It mimicked everything she said. It was it blew our minds. It blew our minds.
So I have a question. So were they plugged into the same SB7 using a splitter, or did they have their own individual SB7s?
Well, I think I set it up wrong. The mom was not under. The mom was Mike, and the daughter was me.
Okay.
Mom was leading, yeah, asking
Mom
questions.
was leading, yes.
Yeah.
So she was asking the questions, but the daughter, and it was on 30. So I know she did not hear a single word she said. She said it was like a little girl was telling her everything to tell her mom. And it was just like, it felt like a little child version of herself to me that was communicating back to her mom.
Wow. Okay.
Interesting.
That's very interesting.
That blew my
So I've got one more question. I'm still trying to figure out how this 5-way Estes method went. Were these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spirit boxes, 2 spirit boxes, or in a third, 2 of them on splitters?
just one spirit box with a 5-way splitter.
I am fascinated.
Yeah.
We got to get a splitter, you guys.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
You do.
I didn't even think about that.
So do you think is it like whatever frequency you're working on? Is that why you're getting different things? Why do you think everyone's getting something different on the same spirit box?
Different spirits.
Well, different
Mike's like,
yeah.
duh.
Yeah.
it's different energies, right?
Yeah.
People attract different energies, right?
Yeah.
We don't.
Mhm.
We're all different. That's. I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
True.
When you're under, you're like, oh. I mean, Mike would say, "Oh, she's cute. Come on over and do that." You know, because I have some really adorable friends. Miss Shelley, one of them. So come on
You are
over
too
and talk
kind.
to Shelley. Come on over and talk to Shelley. So the magician here, the professor. So he just say, "Go over here and talk to her." Not that he did that, but I mean, they're just drawn to different people. We may all hear the same exact thing, and it's really cool when we do. But
You'll have out of the 5, maybe 3 blurt out the exact same sentence word for word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that makes
fun.
And that makes sense too, because we've had where one of us has been under and we've heard clearly something being said through the headphones because the headphones were so loud, and the other person who's under not hear it completely, like just not say anything at all, not even react to it.
I think that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on who's under and how attuned they are and what kind of trance can they get into to receive the spirits.
Is there anything that either one of you do before you go in, as we call it going under? I'm going to go under, do the Estes method. Is there anything you do mentally to prepare yourself? Because I know it's always like that deep breath, and it's like, okay, it's going on, and all I start thinking of, like, okay, who wants to come and talk? This is your shot. I'm not doing it more than once. So if you want to talk, come on. I just kind of throw that out there, and I don't put any conditions. I'm like, buyer beware. You coming to talk to me. So, you know,
Do you want
Go
to
ahead.
do?
No, yeah, that was yours.
So
I don't go under. So, I just prepare myself by talking to Sam before we go under. Maybe she wants me to try to get a different direction, or we're trying to find out a name or a location. So I'll kind of alter my questions to find that out. But if that's all I have to do to prep, is to make sure I know what she's after.
okay.
So for me, I try to make sure I'm grounded and center myself before we go inside somewhere. And I will communicate with the spirits that I want to have relevant, accurate, helpful information. That's one of the things that my mediumship mentor used to tell me all the time was you want relevant, accurate, helpful information from them. And it works. I mean, it really works. There's so much history. They just want to hear their name said out loud again, right? They just want somebody to know, hey, I'm still right here. And I was like, well, are they stuck? Are they stuck? Shouldn't they go to the light? It's like, I don't think it's that at all. I don't think it's that at all.
Have you ever, who Shelley, when you're under, who asked the questions?
I any of the three can do it. It's normally Blake that will lead me if it's just me, and if it's Blake and I doing a duel, it's normally Ryan, because they want to talk to Ryan, but they want to use us.
So how long do you stay under?
No more than 15 minutes ever.
Perfect. So toward the end, when your 15 minutes are up, or whatever time frame you've set, whoever, Blake, if you're doing this, have you tried to count down? I do this a lot, and it seems to really, really work about half the time, where the spirits are going, no, not yet. Don't let her quit, because I'll say, hey, she's going to have to quit. This is very hard on her. So I'm going to count from 10 to 0. And when I hit 0, we're going to call it quits. And then you do a slow countdown, 10, and I swear I've gotten some great responses in that countdown.
We've done a little bit differently. So I remember certain times where I was like leading Shelley. I won't actually do like a full on countdown, like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, but I will start watching the time. And as we get closer, about every 10, 15 seconds, I'll tell them, you got 50 seconds. You've got 40 seconds. You've got 30 seconds, and then get.
It's not a bad way. When I've done the countdown, I've gotten down to 3, and Sam blurts out, Mike, stop. I'm not ready. Stop. Okay. So I say, is there somebody here that wants to say something important? And sometimes you can get a little better communication.
Yeah, because I've gotten down to like, you've got 20, 15 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever. And I'm like, I've got to pull Shelley in the next 10 seconds. And then Shelley will blurt out, don't.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, then why? What do you need to tell me? Tell me now, because I can't keep her under too much longer, Yeah, that's pretty fascinating.
It is. So the question is, and this is always fun for me, we can't see the spirits most of the time. We don't hear them unless you have a recorder. And yet somehow they see us, they hear us, and they know what we're doing. So how does this work? Isn't that amazing?
I do know that I have called out an Estes method something about a blue shirt, and we're in the dark.
Yep.
And we can't see each other. We actually did this at Yorktown. There were 3 of us. We each got in a confessional booth. And to be honest, Blake had on a really dark blue shirt. I actually thought it was black. We normally wear black when we go to investigations. And I said something about he doesn't like whoever's wearing a blue shirt. Well, when we said it afterwards, here it is. And Blake, I was like, yeah, I got this. But I said, but nobody here's wearing a blue shirt. And Blake goes, like, mine is blue.
Yeah.
And it was a really
it's like
dark
a
blue.
Very dark blue. Very hard to hear. But there's more to that, Shelley, because you say, where's Blake? I say over here, and you go where? And I say right here, and you say blue shirt. That's the actual conversation that's happening at that point.
And we were separated by confessional booths.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, and not only that, we've been in the complete darkness and had Shelley point out people in the room and where they were standing, and if they moved back and forth, like he saw you move, so it's
and that's a good point, Mike, that you talk about, because that's one that Shelley did that I was leading. We had 2 under. We had Shelley and our other investigator, Rhonda, under. And as I shifted to Shelley's right, she said, to my right, stop, as she's shifting. Then I move over to the other side of the hallway, because they're like, Blake, move position. So I move over very quietly, just kind of eased over. And and Ryan goes, "Where's Blake?" And Shelly goes, "Don't move. He saw you move. If you move, don't move."
Wow.
And I look back at the camera like,
That's
what? Like, what the crap?
That's
What I heard.
Yeah. There's no way she would have known.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Unless you experience that, it's hard to explain to other
Mhm.
people how much fun that is when you do an Estes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
But
will
my-
say,
And it-
go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, there's no way I would have felt the board shifting. We had 15 people around us that were moving, people jockeying for a position because we would have got at the end of the hallway. So people are like, "Oh, they're doing Estes. Let's see what they're doing." And there was constant movement around me. I wouldn't have known if just one person shifted their weight
Right.
and then shifted again. They were walking around in that moment, so you can't even go. It was boards or anything like that because I was sitting still, and trust me, I'm not paying attention to anything other than what I'm hearing.
I
Go ahead.
actually have a question for y'all though, because I'm very intrigued from somebody else who does the Estes, since we learned from y'all very much like we do. What do y'all do when you run into one that wants to get aggressive with you, nasty with you, or there's aggressive spirits out there? I'm not walking on the line of demonic. I'm just talking about as you were in life, so you are in death.
Cranky.
Cranky, aggressive, mean.
If you're an asshole in this life, you're an
You're an
asshole in the
asshole spirit.
afterlife.
I'm pretty sure of that.
But I will say, what I do is ask.
Hotel Josephine was a
Well,
serial killer.
Well, but I normally ask for only those with pure intentions, love and light to come through. I will say we had an issue, as Mike said, at Hotel Josephine. He's the one who identified. We were in a room and he was getting some really nasty EVPs. And then so I came in and did Estes, and we can't confirm or deny because there's no records, but pretty sure there was a serial killer there because some of our friends that were with us were getting choked. One got scratched on the face when she slept in that room, and it was he told. Why did he tell you?
Oh, he
He was
didn't
gonna
like
show
me
you
because
how
we both got aggressive with each other, which probably I should not have done. But he told me he was coming after me,
But
and he was
no.
going to kill me. And I
No.
said, "Give me your best shot, son."
No, he asked you if you wanted to know. He asked
Oh,
if you wanted
that
to
was another
know
section.
how to kill him.
Yeah, he was asking. It was kind of strange conversation.
Wow.
So I just
Wow.
took myself out. I didn't
Yeah.
wait for Mike to take me out of that one because I just shut that shit down.
And we had
Yeah.
probably 12 or 13 people crowded in this little room. That was so much fun. But it was just a flat conversation.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think the worst one that we had was we had a group at Old Park, and we had something there that we had never come in contact with before. It was the first time meeting this new spirit that has just basically made Old Park its home now. And we had guests being attacked and scratched, and we tried to talk to him. He got very aggressive with us, and at one point we had to go outside because somebody was that physically attacked. And I looked at Shelly and I said, "I want answers." She said, "I do too." I said, "You want to do an Estes?" She said, "Yeah." And this is the kind of communication me and Shelly had. She looks at me, she goes, "I'm going to get very pointed with you. I'm probably going to get aggressive with you." And I said, "As long as you tell me that before I go into it, I'm prepared for it." And yeah, he got aggressive. He got, at one point, it went so silent on the white noise in my ears. Only he came through. From watching the video back, she's very up, kind of in my face, and he just made me turn my head. That was the creepier part. He made me turn my head, looked at Shelly, and said, "I will hurt him."
Ooh.
Talking about me.
Wow.
Yeah, it got pretty heated in that, but he was just a nasty ass of a spirit.
Have you guys been there yet, Sam and Mike? Have y'all been to Ballinger, Texas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was going to say, if you haven't, you let me know we're going to be down here and we'll get you in there.
Come with us.
Yes.
Okay, hold on just a minute. There's a very strange noise. It just
I heard that.
just
I heard that.
It wasn't our dogs.
Could you
either,
hear it?
So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
something
we heard
crashed.
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
if I
Yeah.
don't
Go
come back,
investigate,
it was
Mike.
nice.
Okay, so I don't know, Sam, how often that happens in your home, but when people have been on with us, they tend to have weird things that happen to them in their homes if they're coming from their home and they're on with us doing the interviews.
We have two male spirits that are here with us. My daughter doesn't even like coming. My grandkids don't care at all. But my daughter's like, no, I'm just not coming in there. I'm just not. Most people think it feels warm, love, and light. I mean, I think
Always back.
you met our friends Kathy, right? Kathy
Yes.
and Al,
Mhm,
and that's
mhm.
what they said. You have such a warm, loving home, and it's like, oh, thanks. They love it so much. The spirits just come and hang out for a while. It's okay.
The noise was debunked. I think one of the dogs, when he got on the couch, knocked off her
Oh.
sunglasses.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
good.
Phew.
Awesome.
False alarm.
Well, we were talking
Well,
about serial killers coming through and everything else. I'm like, y'all good. That camera is your best
right.
Yeah,
friend right
right.
now.
Yes.
You know, it's not going to happen often, but you are going to run into
Mhm.
somebody who's grumpy. I mean, what the heck? So what are you going to do? You can just keep talking or just quit.
Yeah.
I mean,
So do you think it came with someone that night since it hadn't
No.
been there before?
No.
No, I think that our theory is that was right around the time that they really started to open the jail that's across the street.
Oh.
Ooh.
And I
Mhm.
think that now that since they have the goings and comings of the people from jail to hotel, that I think the spirits are starting to do the same.
Oh.
And we happen to run into one that I think he is, Mr. King over in the jail. He just happened to make his way over to the hotel and wanted to get real nasty with our guests that night.
Mhm.
So we tried to put an end to it. We were not successful with that because I actually ended up getting punched in that Estes. That's how that ended.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got a kidney shot right to my back in front of 14 people. That was fun. That was
Well, and wasn't it the prior night that something tried to
Yeah.
look like
Yeah.
it tried to slash my throat? It like cut me
Mhm.
from
Oh,
there
wow.
to there.
Yep.
Ugh.
And
Yep.
we were on camera the entire time.
Yep.
And I'm standing in the kitchen. I've got equipment in my hand. I was like, my neck's burning. They're gonna look and they're like, you got
Big
scratched. I'm like,
ol'
are you
just-
effing kidding
You
me?
can see
I
it.
threw everything down. I went running back in there because you do something to me, I'm coming back at you because that's not going to go unchecked. I went in there. I called them everything but Christians or spirits, and told them to knock it off. I'm like, listen, if you were
Yeah.
standing right here and you did that to me, I would scream at you too.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, one of our people who were with us, but his name in the Thomas. Thomas is his name.
Thomas
Yeah.
is his
He
name.
is a nasty ass of a spirit.
He is not fun to deal with.
No.
At all.
No.
Just set your boundaries with them. Don't let them control the
Mhm.
space.
Yeah.
Well, and I will tell you guys something else that Sam and Mike taught us on the Estes method. Like I said, I completely have stolen a lot of Mike's questions because they are always so good when he's leading. But also, one of the things I learned from Sam was that it's always okay to put your hand up and tap out.
Yep.
Don't ever be afraid to raise your hand. If you don't like it, get out. That was one of the things whenever she showed me how and let me do it. She said, if you're uncomfortable, get out of it. You don't have to stay. You don't have to talk to him. You have the control. And I was like, you're right, I do. So
You care if I tell them a funny story about you and Estes? Yeah, she didn't care.
No, it's not
So
gonna
I gotta tell you a funny story about this.
Okay.
We went up to a Strange Escapes with Amy Bruni and Adam Bear. We went to investigate. It's just a haunted thing that you go to. You pay money, and you go investigate. So Sam and I are investigating in one of the abandoned buildings, and we sneak away by ourselves. It's just her and I, and we sneak over to a corner, and she starts doing Estes, and it's coming out pretty good. And all of a sudden, after about 2 or 3 minutes, she goes, "Where's Adam?" And she starts screaming, "Adam, Adam." Well, Adam Barry is about 40 feet away. He goes, "Somebody want me?" So he comes down, and I look at him, and I don't say a word. I just point to him and say, "You take over," because she's asking for you. Adam Barry and her had a full-on conversation with someone for 5 full minutes.
No.
Wow.
Closer to 15.
So
it
what-
was videotaped.
It was
15
we got it on
minutes.
videotape. What was really funny was when I tap her out, because you got to remember when she went under, it would just turn me in the corner. When she taps out, there's like 35 people watching,
No, it was 20.
and Adam Barry standing there. She's doing 3 double takes.
Wow.
Had their video,
Oh,
their
God.
phones out. I'm like,
No.
this was private. This was
It started
not-
out private.
I was like, can somebody at least send me the video? One person offered.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on now. But
you're
it
like, yeah, if everybody's got
Yeah.
your phone, at least send me one, especially since you didn't
Yes.
ask.
we provided the entertainment,
we
right?
did.
So I'm gonna hop off the SS method for just a
Okay.
second, just because I mean that's one of our favorite things to do. You taught us. We want to make sure that you get credit for that because everybody that does it with us loves that, and want to make sure credit goes where it's due.
It's nice to know people like yourself who are willing to learn and do it correct and then teach other people.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
But I want to know a little bit about, and I know that we're running close on the time that we told you, but I want to know something about assisting law enforcement.
Well, don't you want to touch on Ryan's Mothman first, though? Because he's
Oh.
sitting on the edge of his seat.
Okay.
I do,
Get
and it does have to pertain with the SS method. So,
Okay.
how do you use the SS method to A, hunt for cryptids, and B, did you make contact with anything that said it was Mothman?
You should have just let me go on, Mike.
You should have just gone with the law enforcement.
Huh?
Because we went with Bill and
You tell them on that one because it's
Dear Cryptid. That's part of the cryptid story. So go ahead.
well,
Mhm.
it's kind of a weird. Have you
Bill
ever
and
been to?
Harry.
Yeah, have you ever been to Point Pleasant?
Yes.
Have you been out to the domes?
We
No, I
did
have not.
We were running. We had run
Well,
out of time.
that's the best part. We were out at the domes at midnight
Mhm.
Your
and with a
friends.
few friends, like a bunch of weird people. And actually, Carl and Connor there with the SS method were there with us,
Mhm.
along with
It doesn't matter.
some other people. Anyway, to make a long story short, it was a riot, and we made contact with something,
Mhm.
but I don't know who, what, or why. I have no idea. And no matter what questions I asked, they came back. The answers were just something I couldn't understand.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting session and very unique experience. I just can't tell you anything about it because I don't even understand it myself.
Okay.
But just the fact that I was in the domes out there at midnight, that's
Mhm.
just a creepy feeling. That it's
I
so
bet.
Beyond the
different.
spiders. But I will say we were driving through because we were out there with our friends, Bill and Carrie, and we were driving around. And so I had strapped in and Bill strapped in and going under whatever. Strap in sounds pretty bad.
Sounds dirty. I love it. Keep going.
I know. So sorry. So when we
just edited it
went
out.
under, we were Mike was driving around and I was in the front and Bill and Carrie were in the back. And he comes to some spot and I'm allergic to smoke, right? Cigarette smoke. So I'm like, all of a sudden I smell this cigar, this heavy, thick smoke. And I said, who's smoking? Somebody's smoking. And Bill said, who's smoking?
Everybody can smell it.
And
Wow.
it consumed the car. We rolled down the windows. There was no cigar smoke outside at all. And the rental car had not been smoked in because I wouldn't have driven it. So
Wow.
it was so bizarre. But we were out there in the middle of,
God knows where.
yeah, out with the domes. And it was wild. We tried to recreate it and everything, and
Never
it didn't
did.
happen.
Never could make it happen again.
Wow. That is so strange. That's very interesting.
So
Yeah.
you and I are going to the domes, kid.
Hey, I'm down.
I'm
Let's
ready.
go.
Time.
Well,
Anytime
Mothman
you want to go.
Festival coming up.
Oh yeah.
Coming up in 2 or 3 weeks, Mothman Festival.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So it's like calendar. Where's my calendar?
So write that down.
making a note.
You
Y'all
have
gonna
to
be
look it
there?
up. If you haven't made a room reservation by now,
Yeah.
and speaking of room reservations, this hotel we stayed at that was supposedly haunted was, but the room,
The low.
the low hotel.
The
So we
low,
check into this
slow.
room, and I'm thinking, hotel. And the hotel's old, very, very, very old.
Yeah.
So we check into the room, second floor. We go into this
The
room,
captain's
which leads to
suite.
another room, which leads to another room, which leads to another room, which leads to another room. And I'm thinking, wait, which is mine? They were all ours.
It was the
Oh,
captain.
was the
wow.
Room.
Oh,
And he
wow.
tucked us in all
And he
night long.
tucked his head, all night
All
long.
night long.
Is that the one that's across the street from the Mothman
Deadly,
Museum?
Yes.
yeah, right across
Okay.
the street from the museum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just ask for the captain's suite.
Yeah, seriously.
It was
Well, if
great.
you got the captain suite, I'm gonna come sleep on your floor.
You don't have
you
to.
don't have to. It's beds
Another
in every
bedroom.
room.
There's
There's like 4 bedrooms.
no.
Shoot, we gonna have to go up there and meet the captain and meet the Mothman. So
There you go.
Yeah,
So
right.
that sounds like a good plan.
let's do it.
I'm
I've
in.
been dying to get back, and you call me. I need 10 minutes notice.
All right.
Okay.
No,
You got it.
You're gonna get a phone
Sorry,
call.
Shelley. What were you gonna say?
Other than I'm in, yeah.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm in.
No, you were, now that we interrupted you with the Mothman, you were gonna.
The law
Oh,
enforcement.
law
I wanted
enforcement.
to know a little bit about assisting law enforcement because that was mentioned to me, and I just wanted to know. I know you can't probably talk about anything specifics as far as cases go, but what are some of the things you're called upon to do, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, just to clarify, I don't work directly with the police.
Right.
I work, and work is not the right term because it's all just volunteer, right? It's just
You assist, yeah.
I just giving the information that I receive from Spirit over to the lady that runs the group. There's 5 mediums on there. None of us are paid, none of that sort of thing. I've only met 2 of the ladies out of the 5 group, right, in person. Well, I've met 4 of the people. But when they get a case, they'll send a photo and then they'll ask us to give any information we can. We don't get any information as to if they're dead or alive. We don't get their names. We don't get a situation. We don't get anything. And so I think there's only been 1 or 2 cases where we got a little bit of information, but we've been successful on 2 of the cases that I've worked on. I don't work on them daily, weekly, monthly, that sort of thing. It just comes sporadic, but we've done pretty good.
You have.
Wow.
Don't say we.
We, the group, not
Yeah, Mike,
Well,
like you leave me out of this.
she's being very low key.
this-
Tell the person
Sam
that
is very
passed the
modest. She
water.
is incredibly talented. And
Oh,
if you
she
ever have the chance to meet her, please go out and meet Sam and Mike. But Sam is very modest. She's a very, very gifted medium.
You're way too kind, but yeah. Just being part of something to where you can use, because everybody has abilities, right? So it's tapping into them or being willing to sit in that space and try to tap into them and just let them know where they are so that they can be found and the families can have closure. I wish there was more that can be saved. And I'd love to help out more people. It's just when you get in that realm, because I've had people contact me with information, tell me they're a family and they're looking, come find out they're not a family member, and I won't turn the information over to them. One lady wanted to use it for a reward because she said I hit on so many things and she was going to there was a $10,000 reward. Come find out she wasn't a family member. She's just a friend of the family who is trying to get information so she could turn it in and get a reward. But she would split it with me if I give her the information.
Oh God.
He would.
Wow.
Peeped out. No,
Yeah.
that's not why. That's the wrong reasons, in my opinion. I know there are people that charge for that service, and good on them. That's their business. I don't feel like that. I don't feel like that's the right thing to do. And trying to find
Yeah.
some.
So
Agree.
so you're basically given a picture, and I mean, can you tell me what it is? What happens? I mean, I don't understand how it works, so I guess I'm explain it. No, I
Well,
don't know how to.
It's very much like Estes, though, right? Except without the equipment. The first time I got a photo, well, the second time I got a photo, the other one it wasn't for law enforcement, but I did help provide information that went from a suicide to a murder investigation. So that was pretty cool. Through the Estes method, I got the names of 5 people that were involved in the murder of this young lady, and it was first and last names I got. I didn't know them at all. They're out of Minnesota. Didn't know them at all. Didn't even know the lady very well. We were just friends through Facebook. But the first photo I received from the group of 5, I just sat down and asked her to come to me, close my eyes, went in the back room and just sat down and just started viewing like I was looking through her eyes, right? It's like she showed me this man. She showed me that she was taken out of her townhome. I felt pressure in my chest, and then I got so sick at my stomach. I'm like, I've never done drugs, so I don't know what that feels like, but I've been pregnant, and it was some kind of drug overdose or she was pregnant. And then I got that heavy impact to my chest. So it felt like maybe a shot or something to her chest, an impact. And then she showed me this 6-foot tall man, and she kept telling me something about a gym. I couldn't make out if it was a personal trainer or what the relationship, a guy she had met at the gym. But long story short, enough of us hit on a gem. My other friend who actually got me into the group, she had picked up on a purse. It was white and black with a gold chain. So fast forward to the conclusion of the case. The guy was exactly as I described him. I have photos because they came back and showed us. They arrested him. He's in jail. But he was over 6 foot tall, this bearded, bald-headed man that I had described. Not only was she pregnant, but his wife was pregnant.
Oh.
And he was the gym owner. So
Wow.
and
Holy hell.
the thing that sealed the deal was my friend's, the purse was found in his truck behind the second seat. So
Black and
Whoa.
red and white. Or
the
black and
the black and white purse with the
Purse.
with the gold chain.
was
Yeah.
found in his truck.
Whoa.
And she had been shot in the chest, and she had been taken out of her home, shot, and then her car was set on fire, her SUV, and my friend got the color of her SUV. I mean, it was charred, but it was white. So it's just like little movies in your mind. If you just sit there and ask spirit to come to you, and I'm sure I get visions during Estes as well. And if you guys don't yet, the more you do it, because I've got probably 1,500 plus hours doing Estes, right? So long time. I've been doing it years and years. So once you start just allowing spirit, because you're going into a trance, you're channeling, you're allowing the spirits to use your body as a vessel. And it's just make sure you drink lots of water afterwards and eat some chocolate to take over your bodily functions again so they don't stay in you, right? So
Chocolate's important.
chocolate's always
Really?
Always important.
yes.
I drink Fireball. I figure I'm going to drown it.
Girlfriend, we don't do spirits with spirits. That's
Oh, no, not at the same time. I'm talking afterwards.
After the investigation,
Yeah,
we're
like
back
After the
home.
investigation.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
we don't mix the two. No, that's
No, we don't
dangerous.
either.
We're talking end of investigation when all the equipment's put up. We've left them all at their
Oh, there you
location. We're
go.
back at
Yeah.
ours. Then I'm like, everybody out.
Yeah.
Well, guys, do we have any more questions? Because I have kept them a little longer than I promised them that I would. And we have one more thing that we want to do with them. Any other questions for the mysterious Sam and Mike?
No.
Gentlemen?
No,
Gentlemen?
not right now.
No.
they've got all
What?
our good info now.
Yeah.
You guys
Exactly. Well, hang on one second. Let us do a little housekeeping, and then we will thank you properly. Okay? Blake, why don't you tell them everything they need to know?
Absolutely. Well, tomorrow morning we're going to be posting up our link tree to our Facebook, so make sure you are going to the Everything Bailey Paranormal Podcast Facebook page to find that. That's going to include a few things: a link to our online merch store, which has our first round of merchandise that is now available for sale. We've got logo T-shirts, coffee mugs, and even the Words Are Hard T-shirt and coffee mug direct from the podcast itself. You'll also see a link to our public investigations. We are currently sold out on tickets, but make sure you follow our Eventbrite page to be notified when tickets become available. There are talks about putting locations we've yet to take you to on the calendar, so go check that out. And there's also our Patreon page to help support the show. This is just $5 a month, and you instantly unlock well over 100 Patreon exclusive bonus videos, which include our 30-minute pre and post broadcasts, behind-the-scene moments, special video casts, and Paracon speaking events. And we're also offering a 7-day free trial for those who want to check it out before purchasing. You think we behave on here? Go check out Patreon. These 3 links are ways that you can help to directly support what we do. Your support will go directly to the show and other spooky adventures that are coming later this year, some of which are in post filming as of now. So we greatly appreciate your love and support for us through your shares, your comments, and likes as well. And as always, any questions, comments, stories you'd like to share with us, those can be submitted to us at evppod@gmail.com. That's THEEVPPOD@gmail.com.
Like, share, and subscribe. So we want to thank you guys for watching Everything Vaguely Paranormal tonight. I'm Shelley Pruitt. My partners in the paranormal, Mr. Blake Smith and Mr. Ryan Roberts. We would like to thank our very special guest, the very mysterious Mike and Sam. Thank you all so much for being with us. We appreciate your time. And I know our listeners and viewers loved you. So thank you so much. And as always, we will see you next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye, y'all.